Hey, what's up, guys? I want to speak on another facet of the video that I just did right below this one, speaking on promoting whole family households to our children, even though right now with our generation, I meant to say Generation X too, I skipped them. I was talking about baby boomers and millennials, but Generation X probably more so than the baby boomers and the millennials. You know what I mean? A facet of that video that's very important that I didn't talk about is not robbing the children of the experience of a whole family household. If we're promoting whole family households, even if that might not no longer be the case with many of us at the particular moment, and still trying to promote that to the children, you have to show them. You have to literally show them too. So it's not just about sitting down and talking to them about the idea of it, but they don't see that. You know what I mean? So we have to actually show them that. And so we can't rob them out of the experience. You know what I'm saying? And so now I wanted to come at this from the angle of, all right, for example, I'm gonna speak on the behaviors of me and my children's mother, along with the children. You know what I mean? But I'm not going to speak on specific situations, just the behaviors, because the behaviors is something that other people are likely to be able to identify with without speaking on personal, actual situations, okay? Now, with my children and my children's mothers, guys, like I said, we still get together as a family, a collective unit, where you may see me and her with the children, you know what I mean, and still do things together and spend time together, you know what I mean? So, you know, we can have that camaraderie as a family. So that's part of the experience, and the children having the experience of their father being in the household with them, their mother being in the household with them, and often doing things together. So yes, they get that, but then also we have to be mindful of how we are interacting with each other, okay, as parents, okay? Now it gets tricky, because what happens is when you're not together, you know what I mean, when you're not actually together, you still have situations where, let's say in our situation personally, you know, my children's mother may not want to sometimes actually give them that experience, allow them to have that experience. So we may be together, but if we're not actually, sometimes, you know, by me doing this video, communicating it, I'll be able to go back, look at it, and formulate my ideas even better, and then communicate it with her too. Or if she see the video, and then communication is key, so we can both know where each other is coming from, okay? And so a lot of times I want them to experience, which is hard, how a man and a woman interacts with each other when they're together. But see, we're not together. You see what I'm saying? So it's certain boundaries, of course, which is understandable. You know what I mean? But you still don't want to rob the children out of the experience. So, for example, you want your daughters and your sons to see you be intimate with each other. So, you know, so even for you guys who are together, who can still do this because you're actually together, you know what I mean, being intimate with each other. Now, I'm not talking about obviously anything inappropriate, but I mean like hugs, maybe holding hands, you know what I mean? We do this, you know, walking and talking together, where they can see the husband and the wife trying to, you know, communicate with each other and work things out and things of that nature, right? You want them to see that. But if you can't go that far because you're not actually together and you have certain boundaries, it's still certain things that I like to try to do to still give, or I would like to try to do to still give our children that experience. So when they grow up, you see what I'm saying? they can still, it won't be so foreign. The idea and the act of it won't be so foreign to them. That makes sense. So I try to do stuff like, you know, if we going somewhere together, let's walk together. You know what I mean? We know we're not together, but let's walk together so the children, you know, can experience that we're walking side by side. We walking together. This is how, even though mommy and daddy is not intimately together in that way, you know what I mean, it still gives them that visual and that experience of seeing man and woman together. You know what I mean? And the energy that exudes. You know what I mean? So a lot of times what we are struggling with is that aspect of, you know, sometimes she wants to either walk off, or I kind of got to give this example. Like I said, this is all about behavior, not necessarily specific situations, but behaviors. She might walk off or walk behind, things like that, trying to, which gives the impression of distance when you're doing that too much. So yeah, we're together, but it's robbing the children of that experience of, you know, because the goal is when they grow up, you're actually with your spouse. You're with the person that you have a family with, that you have children with. And so they need to kind of see how that looks. You see what I mean? And so I just hate to rob them of that experience. And so hopefully if she look at this video, or when I'll talk to her about this, and, you know, verbalizing it and articulating it, so, you know, we can possibly come to an agreement on how we will handle the situation. But I don't want to rob them of that experience. You know what I mean? Because when they grow up, if they have a significant other that they're actually with, I don't want them normalizing that. You see what I'm saying? Because that's what breaks up. That's what will end up breaking up your marriage, being too distant from each other. You know what I mean? And that is, you know, largely my fault, because when we actually were together, I did become more distant, and I can admit to that. You know what I mean? So I can understand the whole. It'll be real easy to take the approach of, we wasn't like that when we was together. You know, after a certain point. You know what I mean? So, you know, obviously, why would we do it now? Well, we didn't have the same, especially me. I didn't have the same mind that I have today, and I didn't have the consideration of my children and what I want for them, and the example I want to be for them at the time. You see what I mean? So it's different, and so it is those small things we can still do without crossing any boundaries, that still gives them that experience and that example of companionship. So when they do get to that point themselves, they know what it looks like. You know what I mean? And it's not an uncomfortable situation, or it's not a distant situation from each other, if that makes sense. Now, with that said, it has helped me with some of the things that I do and did, or more so did, but I wouldn't say I'm all the way there. You know what I'm saying? With maybe, I guess she would probably consider control issues and things like that. You know what I mean? So I can understand the PTSD of, you know, this is the situation that I left, you know what I mean? And I'm not in it anymore from an intimate relationship standpoint, where I feel like I have to honor this. So why would I do it now? Well, I'm trying to explain why we would attempt to be a little closer, at least visually, when we're together. You know what I mean? So they can see that, you know what I mean, and experience that. But I understand that it is boundary issues, and feeling like, you know, not slipping back into control, and, you know, and I understand she wants to feel liberated, and, you know what I mean, she wants to feel her freedom and her liberation and things like that. And so it helps me, though, for any relationships that I get into in the future with whatever women that I'm with, you know what I mean, with not making that same mistake. And it's good practice for me now, you know what I mean, where it's less you know, control and more, you know what I mean, I get that practice because we're not together. And so I do have to back off in the regards of, okay, we not together. So therefore, I can't really stress this or push this as if we're actually together still. You see what I mean? It's still certain boundaries. But it's probably boundaries that probably should have been had even when we were together. You see what I mean? And that would help with, you know, maybe not being on your wife's or significant other's back as much and making them feel that way. You see what I'm saying? And letting them still, you can be with them, but still allowing them a certain amount of freedom and liberation. You know what I mean? And yeah, so like I said, it does help me practice with that because that's just, I have no other choice. But I like it too. You know what I mean? I like being able to be more laid back and understanding and getting over the fact that now it's been some time. And so just being a whole lot better with and coming to realization with, okay, I can't control her. We're not together. We're not together in that way no more. You know what I mean? And things like that. So, you know, it helps you practice for when you are with someone to not be overbearing. You know what I mean? Now, with that said, it's different angles or facets to it, because from another angle, it's like at the same time, giving that person their liberation, their freedom, and having the boundaries, you still are trying to be an example for your children. So with that said, if she decides to get carried away with it, you see what I'm saying, to where it's a complete, because we're not intimately together and we don't have the title of husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, that you don't have to respect any, you know, my wishes or anything at all, because there's a thin line between that, because we're trying to show them and be an example for them in the aspect of they will be with the person, you know, that they had children with, and they'll actually be together. And yes, if that's the case, you do need to respect your husband. You see what I'm saying? And then from a standpoint of my boys, they need to know that you also do need to command a certain amount of respect from your significant other, your wife or your girlfriend or whatever. You know what I mean? So it's a fine line between understanding that, like, okay, you know, she's a free woman, or so to speak, you know what I mean, or liberated, you know what I mean? I can't push too hard, but at the same time, I'm responsible for trying to be that example and be that visual of showing my daughter, showing my sons how a woman should respect a man that's respecting her, you know what I mean, or respecting them, and how a man should respect a woman that's respecting him. You know what I mean? So, you know, so that's kind of still, like, hopefully now that I articulated it, hopefully maybe now she will be able to understand it. I go back when I talk to her, understand, okay, like, you know, I'm not trying to be pushy or nothing. I understand what our current situation is, but at the same time, you know what I mean, I don't want to just be too laid back, and then my son is thinking that, you know, it's okay to allow your significant other to disrespect you, you know what I mean, and things like that, you know what I mean, and for my daughters to think that it's okay to disrespect your husband because he's laid back and things like that, you know, he's being more laid back, you know what I mean. So I try to find that fine line of, you know, respecting the situation for what it is, but still trying to be a certain example for them, if that makes sense. Because like I said, it teaches your daughter how to treat a man. You see what I mean? And have respect for a man. And then also it teaches your daughters how to have respect for a father, because if y'all are together as a family, you know what I mean, your daughters they're going to emulate you as the mother. You see what I'm saying? And so therefore, you know, you shouldn't want your daughters seeing you being disrespectful to your father because you feel like, well, I don't have to listen to you because we're not together no more. You see what I'm saying? Because like I said, subconsciously, that's going to be feeding them the idea of, I don't have to respect a man. And like I said, I mean, you know, what can you say? For a couple reasons, what can I really say? For one, I've reached a level of maturity and peace. You know what I mean? To where, for one, I just don't desire to be bickering no more. You know what I'm saying? And going back and forth and trying to, you know, stake my claim and, you know what I mean, put my foot down for a woman that's not mine no more. You see what I'm saying? So, but at the same time, I can't allow you to go so far with the disrespect or the disagreeableness, you know what I mean? Because what is that teaching them? You see what I'm saying? So it's a common ground that we have to come together on, you know what I mean? And things like that. I think that's pretty much it, guys. That was a real important, you know what I mean, aspect of the first video. Check out that first video tied in. But you don't want to rob the children of the experience of family, so they can know what it looks like. You know what I mean? Family being together and the relationship that the behavior within the relationships. You see what I'm saying? Because you're trying to train them and bring them up in a way that they're going to actually be with the person that they had children with. Not trying to, you know, hopefully not trying to, you know, maintain some type of family structure with the people that they had children with. And you know what I mean? Like I said, you know, worst case scenario, you want to at least do that. You see what I'm saying? But you know, you want to go for the goal. You want your daughters to be wives, good wives. You want your sons to be husbands, good husbands. You see what I'm saying? So like I said, what I do like about it is it is good training and good experience for me. You know what I mean? To be able to back off and not have to be so uptight, because like the whole, that's my woman, you know what I mean? That's mine type of thing. Like, you know, now it's more so the attitude of, I mean, that's my children's mother. You know what I mean? She her own woman at this point. You know what I mean? She's free. She don't have to answer to me or anything like that. But at the same time, without taking it overboard and being disrespectful. You know what I mean? And then showing that and then that being an example to the children. So, like I said, hopefully this was a good video, guys. Peace.